Session 10, Peer Communication and Bullying. Tonight's activities focus on encouraging positive communication between peers. Youth will put themselves into the shoes of others to think about solutions to interpersonal conflicts, while adults discuss ways to keep children physically and emotionally safe. After the breakout activities, youth and caregivers share tips on ways to deal with bullying and cyberbullying. Communities running 2.5-hour sessions will then watch and discuss 2 videos on bullying. The session ends with a teaching from the elder that explores some of the ways that past generations solved interpersonal conflicts. The session starts as usual by getting together and welcoming participants to today's activities. You can briefly introduce the theme of today's session, peer communication and bullying. Invite the elder to conduct whatever ceremony, protocol, or acknowledgements are appropriate for the session. You can budget about 5 minutes for this portion of the program. After the opening is mealtime. If you decide that it's appropriate, you can ask the elder to bless or give thanks for the food. Invite families to serve themselves and give priority and assistance to elders and anyone else who might need extra help. Make sure that everyone lends a hand to clean up. In total, the meal should take about 30 minutes. Once you've finished eating and cleaned up, you'll be collecting feedback on the last session from participants. This should take about 10 minutes and involves asking the group the following questions. Last week, we played the fish and canoes game and practiced different ways to stand our ground. What were some of the take-home messages from last week's session? Some of the people we meet throughout our lives become lifelong friends. Good friends can be an amazing source of happiness and support. What are some of the things that you appreciate about your friends? You can review the friendship quiz assigned as a take-home activity last week. Read the questions out loud to participants and ask them to answer them in their heads rather than out loud. After reviewing the take-home activity, you'll take about 10 minutes to introduce participants to this session's approach to bullying. Please make sure to give yourself a bit of extra time to think about the way that you'll be approaching this discussion, since it might be a sensitive topic for some of the participants, whether they're youth or adults. Your priority in leading people through the conversations about bullying should be to maintain a space that is as physically and emotionally safe as possible. Try to be especially aware that people don't interrupt one another and make a special effort to respect participants' boundaries. For advice and resources to help handle challenging situations, refer to the safety plan at the beginning of your manual. The discussion on bullying leads into breakout activities for youth and adults. For the youth, you'll be providing a 10-minute introduction to peer communication and then picking between one of 2 activities. The first one asks participants to empathize with the thoughts and feelings of several fictional people and to brainstorm ideas to help them out. The second activity deals specifically with cyberbullying and asks youth to consider scenarios and come up with possible solutions. You can determine which activity to do based on your understanding of the participants' needs. Set aside 30 minutes for whichever activity you pick. The adults will spend the breakout session talking about their experiences helping their kids manage their social worlds, whether in a physical sense or in the more abstract sense of helping their children navigate their online activity and relationships. The manual and the adult booklets offer information and talking points on cyberbullying. Please take a look at your manual to help you facilitate this discussion, which should last about 30 minutes. After wrapping up the discussion, you'll be preparing adults for this week's take-home activity, which asks them to lead talking circles at home. You'll also find instructions on introducing this activity to adults in your manual. Set aside 10 minutes for this prep time. After the breakout sessions, participants will get back together and discuss what they learned for the next 10 minutes. Ask participants to get together as families and look through the page called Tips and Reminders in the youth booklet. Before you wrap up the activity, take a minute to ask participants to fill out the section on resources in their community and school. After this discussion, facilitators running 2.5-hour sessions will watch and discuss 2 short videos on bullying, while facilitators running 2-hour sessions will head right into the elders' talk. If you're watching the videos, take a look at the manual for instructions on accessing them and facilitating this 15-minute activity. Next, invite the elder to speak. We suggest that they tell a story or offer advice that touches on the themes of communication and conflict resolution. If you think it's relevant, you can refer the elder to the text on traditional conflict resolution included in Session 10 of the manual. Once the elder finishes speaking, participants can ask questions and discuss. Note that for communities running 2-hour sessions, the elder's talk may have to be shorter than usual. Aim to have it take about 10 rather than 20 minutes. Session 10 wraps up after the elder's talk. We recommend that you thank participants for their presence and let them know that you're looking forward to seeing them at the following session. Next, explain the take-home activity, which asks participants to take part in a family talking circle and to write a family agreement together. Finally, you can lead participants through a relaxation exercise or ask the elder to offer a closing word or observe any other meaningful practice. Please keep in mind that this video is only a summary of the session. Make sure to read the detailed description in the manual and to prepare the material as indicated. Thank you for your role in bringing the Listening to One Another program to families in your community.